All right, so my preference in pressure shifting.
Yep.
So we've got the theory that to get the club moving, effectively the body is shifting it trail side to get the club moving, right? So it's like maybe a forward, back, you have that little shift to get the club going. So you're going to have the most amount of trail side load is at this point in the swing. Then from there, as the club starts to keep traveling, our pressure works back to kind of a 50-50 situation. Not too much lead side, certainly not too much trail side with the ball on the ground. So we've got that, right? So you're centered, and then from there, it's a little trail side, re-center. So the pressure's going forwards as the club's going back, 50-50 at the top. Then as you're coming down, by the time that left arm's parallel, you've already got the pressure starts to be lead side. Shaft parallel, you've got 80-90% of the pressure here. And then from there, you're just going to stay there. But it's the understanding of getting that pressure going, trail early, centered early, lead side early, not back foot and then trying to do all of that in the downswing. There's not enough time. There literally is not enough time. So you're going to go there, trail side to get the club moving, then re-center early, and then lead side early. And then as you're doing that re-centering, you're turning, and then you're creating space for those hands to come down on plane, and then through. So that's irons. Chuck us a driver. All right, so driver, big difference there with driver, obviously the base of support, wider stance. We're going to have a lot more tilt. So this is your irons, this is your driver. You've got that little kickback, which automatically puts more pressure back already. Remember that. We still have the same trace of the pressure going to lead the club, but because we're starting further back and our head's tilted back, there's a lot more load. Even when you have recentering, there's still more load behind the golf ball. So if you can imagine with the ball on the ground, you're trying to hit it, you get back to 50-50. With driver, you're going to kind of find yourself maybe 30, 40, a little bit more behind the golf ball. And that little bit more behind the golf ball, just that tiny bit, a little bit more behind it, allows the low point to be a good, maybe this much further back, so you end up hitting more, somewhere between 2 to 5 degrees up as opposed to 2 to 5 degrees down. We're talking tiny amounts, but there's a big difference between being centered and then covering it and hitting a little down on it, and being a little bit behind it and then being able to hit a little bit up on it. So you still have that same trend at the start. You set up way more back behind it. Big turn. Pressure starts to feel like it goes, but your sternum's behind it. And then from there, you kind of have the same feels with the arms coming down and boff. So that's your impact alignments there. With driver, you have a little bit more right side bend. Whereas with the irons, because you're more neutral, spine's more up and down, and you're recentering a touch earlier, you're going to hit a lot more down on it and cover it more. If that makes any sense. Yep. So in both cases, you're having a trail side big turn, but because the setup's different with the stance and also the spine conditions, with driver you end up having a lot more mass behind the golf ball, which allows you to hit more up on it. As opposed to with irons, you really want to be, or even fairwaywards, you're going to have a slightly more neutral spine. So as you lead, it's easier to hit slightly down on it. Only trying to change it a few degrees here and there, but it makes a big, big difference. Kind of make sense? All right.